What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? You already know what time it is, man. Before we give you this hot content today, go ahead and click the StreamYard link on Facebook if you're tuning in so you can interact with us tonight. But also, if you're on YouTube and you're on Facebook and you have a YouTube account, switch on over to that YouTube account, click that subscribe button and give us some likes, man. You already know how we going to get down tonight, man. BirdCage is official. You already know what it do. We bringing you another hot one today.
Okay, y'all, this is it.
You already know what time it is, man. Welcome back to the BirdCage. You already know how we get down. Today, we have a special guest. Man was a damn great football player down in Jacksonville, Florida. Reebok High School has produced so many legends. This man, his name is right there on the list. Guy that's joining us tonight is Nasrallah Worthen, as they used to say back in the day. You already know. Former Kansas City Chiefs wide receiver, and he actually almost played for the Atlanta Falcons, whether you know it or not. We're going to let him tell his story tonight, but you already know how we get down, man. So I got to bring in my man, Killian K-Dub Worthy. You already know how we get down with it. Killer K, what's going on, Clutch?
What it is, what it do, BirdCage in the building. Hey, look, man, like, share, subscribe. If he hasn't already told you, go ahead and do that. Do it quickly. And don't hesitate. So, like I said, we got a great show in for everybody tonight. Let's get ready. Put your seatbelts on, and here we go. So, review tonight. So here we go, y'all. If you're on Facebook, tune in. If you on YouTube, that's even better. BirdCage LLC. Let's go.
Yeah, you already know what it is, man. So before we bring in our special guest tonight, man, let's go ahead and talk about what's been going on with these Falcons, man. So from what we're seeing, it's a lot of progress going on in OTAs at this point, man. So what is it that we're seeing from the Falcons right now that's giving everybody a lot of confidence about what's happening or whatnot?
Well, it's basically, you know, the dynamic of the offense right now. The dynamics of this offense is very, very intriguing. So, I mean, I'm just listening to what is coming out of the OTAs. We haven't even really got to training camp yet, but I'm just listening to what Desmond Ritter, some of the Tyler Algiers, the people that have been here last year, what they're saying. Some of the Richie Grants of the world, the people that have been on this team last year, they're saying it's a different vibe, it's an uptick in practice. It's a different groove out there. So far, so good. So we just need for us to stay healthy. And like I said, we're going to attack them in formations. I believe that, you know, we're going to just out formation team. So we're going to come out there with so many different packages that it's going to be exciting to watch because it's going to just, you know, confuse defenses. And then our defensive end, we're going to play a lot of press man and get up in your face. And we got to hope that we can get a pass rush generated. But I mean, on paper, we look like we're going to be one of the better teams in the NFC, period. I'm just going out there on the limb and going ahead to say that. I think barring injuries, we should be one of the top teams in the NFC.
Man, you already know what it is, man. You talk about having progress from these OTAs, man. We got a cat that's on here that's going to talk about his days in the league, talked about OTAs, the dog days, and what a lot of these cats are going through in Atlanta. He went through in Kansas City back in the day, but at the same time, as I said earlier, he would have been a Falcon, but he's going to tell his own story. But we got to bring in our man, gray beard, Mr. Glenn Smalls. running on CP time, but he just got off work getting that paper. What's going on, baby?
You know it's about the paper. But man, Birdcage, man, what's going on, man? What's going on? Killer K Dub, what's going on with you, man? The historian, welcome back, man.
Appreciate it. And you see who we got in the building tonight. This is totally different. Yo, we got Scoop sliding through here. This is
Scoop.
totally surprise right now. What's going on, Big Scoop?
What's going on?
Nothing much, man. But you know, we getting ready to get this thing started tonight with one of Jacksonville's legendary players. We're gonna go ahead and bring him in and let's get him started. We're bringing in Mr. Ooh, I almost dropped the camera. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. We bringing in Mr. Nasrallah Worthen. Hey, you already know.
Hey,
It's got to be a little special when we bring you in or whatnot. So I guess me almost dropping the camera off put me in that spot.
Well, hey, thanks for having me, guys. Great platform.
Thank you.
Definitely subscribe. Everybody subscribe. Great platform.
Thank you. As you can see, we got a little something in the background for you, a little something special.
Okay, yeah,
it was cooked up. Your days at Rebound High School from North Carolina State to the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about it. So when you talk about your career and how you started off coming out of Jacksonville, Florida, from where you're from, what was it like in the early stages of just trying to figure out, hey, which direction I'm going to go in and how am I going to, what am I going to do to go to college?
Oh, yeah. Well, coming up, especially in Jacksonville, I always was like a student guy first, and you're always trying to find the means to get to college and stuff. Mama and them ain't have it like that. I'm the youngest of 7. Mama ain't have it like that. So I'm like, I need a plan, to get to college. Fortunately enough, I was around some good peers, Willie Green, Art Webb, and guys like that, Ronnie Montgomery, local guys from here. And they asked me to come out because I always was a pretty decent athlete. So I went on out and, first time playing football, I'd watch it on TV. Used to argue with, my brother and them because they wanted to watch football on Sunday. I wanted to watch, the Dollar for Dollar movie or Creature Freacher or something like that. But I kind of knew the game. So I ended up playing, going out with it, playing the game because track was my first love. But I went out for it and, pretty good through it. And every stage, get better and get better. And that's the key, fellas. Be a student of the game. The more you learn the game, because your athleticism is going to take you so far. But if you become a student of that game, learn, what like the coaches know, and learn, schemes and schematics and all that, then, it'll take you that far. So constantly learn, constantly, get your craft, hone your craft, get better. And that's your point. You got to get better every day. Never stay the same, get better every day. Because even if you got talent, you know what I'm saying? Hard work beat talent when talent ain't working hard. So, keep working hard. And you know what I'm saying? And hone your talent and each step go to the next step. So like I said, started out, Pop Warner, was pretty legendary. And after that, went on to high school. I was offered here in Jacksonville is a school called Bowles. They've always traditionally had the best teams, but it was a private school.
Well, we got one of our Falcon receivers out of Bowles High School. On this panel, we remember a guy by the name of Dez White that played for the Atlanta.
Dez White, Georgia Tech, Dez White, Dez and all them, right?
Yeah, he came out of Bowles High School.
Right. I mean, they recruit the best because, the private school, scholarship. So they'll give you a scholarship and you can go there. But, how we were back then, keeping it real, growing up on the north side, keeping it real. I said, no, I want to go play with my peers, play with the boys, with Green Boy and all them. Rest in peace because we just lost them, a month ago. And so everything turned out, And my story about getting to NC State is that in high school, track was my first love. I was a 5'2" guy, relays, but my, strengths were the triple jump, long jump hurdles. I was ranked 3rd in the nation in the long jump, with a 51.4. In high school, I was 3rd in the nation. And so the schools that offered me in high school, they were, HBCUs, nothing against that. But, once you start getting a taste of, that high life of D1, it's like, hey, I want to go D1. So I was going to go on track. And my high school track coach, Charlie Ham, he was roommates with a guy at Mississippi State. Well, at that time, they were at Mississippi State. But then that guy ended up being the head coach at NC State in track. So Coach Ham told him about me, and he already was asking about me because I was ranked, like that in the triple jump. So I ended up going on a track visit to NC State. But when I was there, I was like, hey, I play football too. I was all state, me and Michael Irvin to be, exact. And so I went and showed him some film. I went on a weekend visit at track, showed him some film. By the time I got back to Jacksonville, they had blew my mom's phone up like, hey, we want to sign him right now. I was Jacksonville right now. So, I said, yeah, that's D1. I'll go there. And, when I went, it was just a learning thing and, being away from home. Yeah, never leaving Jacksonville except going to Hazelhurst, Georgia, which, Georgia. So Hazelhurst, Georgia, that's where my family from. So all of them Falcon fans. So that's why, down the road, that's why I went to the Falcons, because my family from Hazelhurst. And, man, so anyway, so once I got there, everything, was pretty good. Like I said, you keep honing your craft, and I just, got better and better. So great coaching. It also, great coaching is important also, because when I got there, we were 3-8. Coaching was terrible. And then it was a guy, Dick Sheridan. He came from Furman, to NC State. And from that, we had great coaching, great schemes, great, system, and things, started going in order. We started winning 8 games, this, that, and other. I made all conference. And I was telling nephew Ryan that, I played with Haywood Jeffries, Danny Peebles, Eric Kramer was a quarterback. But like I said, even on those teams with those guys, I was the all conference receiver somehow. So, no bitter taste about the league, because I love being there, even represent with my shirt here, And but like I said, when they came through, it's like horse, breeding or whatever, like Jimmy the Greek said. And they were tall athletes. They were better athletes, faster athletes. Me, I was 5'8", 175. You know what I'm saying? And wasn't truly fast. I was quick, but not truly fast. So, like I said, I consider myself Robin Hood. I like my little Robin Hood phrase. I, robbed from the rich, gave to myself, to the poor. But that was a great experience. And it was a great experience. And even with y'all boys, because how I got to Atlanta was that, I was okay in good standings with, the Chiefs after, second year. But then that's when the Plan B free agency. That's when the union, forced the Plan B free agency. So you had a chance to go out and check your market value and this, that, and other. I could have went to Miami, the Giants, but like I said, family was from Georgia. So I wanted to go to the Falcons because they was running run and shoot. I came out in the draft with Jason Phillips and Deion Sanders and all those had, relationships like that. Then, so I got there and they had Michael Haynes, George Thomas, Floyd Dixon, you know what I'm saying? And all them cats, and Jake Phillips and all that. And we were there. And, we were running the off season and all this, and then preseason. And I was doing quite well. You know what I'm saying? Even the Atlanta Journal-Constitution had me, as a lock for the team. But after camp broke, they gave us a chance to go out. We went down to the underground and stuff. I got tore up, drunker and all that damn doors, being immature, just, showing out, because family being from Georgia, got a lot of relatives in Atlanta. They was there, we drinking and carrying on. I got home, fell asleep in their room, missed curfew. Yep, missed curfew, and that just, told them wrong. That was, and it was, my fault because I'm supposed to be, responsible. So that's what's the end, to that there. So, but like I said, no regrets. Enjoyed life, and like, you a lesson. You know what I'm saying? Experience is the best teacher, and you learn most from your mess ups than pretty much you do from successes. So, like I said, no hard feelings about it. Like I said, it was a good stepping stone. I had a good, financial nest, egg right there to build on. You know what I'm saying? So from there, just go forward.
So my man Graybeard's got a couple of questions for you that he like to ask you. You gave us a quick rundown, but we kind of want to dissect your career and pretty much what it took to get to the places that you have gotten to. And we definitely want to make sure that we cover that. But we definitely appreciate the blueprint. You painted a beautiful picture, because most cats that come to Atlanta is if they've never been before, it's an adventure. Brett Favre can tell you that.
Yeah. And Brett was there the year I got there. Brett was there. We drafted Brett, and they drafted Brett, and they brought him in from Green Bay, and he was well, we drafted him. Then we sent him to Green Bay because him and Jerry and them didn't get along. Because me and Brett, all us was on the scout team together. You know what I'm saying? So I worked with Brett all the time. And, country and this, that, and other. We used to trip and laugh and all that. Because he's a jokester, I'm a jokester. We kidded and joked all the time. But the thing about it, how to get you there, man, you got to be professional. You know what I'm saying? A lot of us grow up, kids, and we grow up like it's a game. I want to get in the league, you know what I'm saying? Because basically you want to show off. You want to show off. You want the money, because I always, pose a question. If they gave you $1 million over in Iran somewhere or over in Africa, and they gave you 250,000 here, which one would you go to? You know what I'm saying? In a sense, you're going to try to come here because the people here, you want to be seen here. So you got to be focused, and you got to be professional about it, because it is a business, and it is a shrewd business, but it's fun. And if you know what it takes, and how to act to get there, because there's a certain way you got to act. You got to be conform. You got the conformity. You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing. Just stay on path. You got to have you surround yourself with the right people. That helps you a lot, or that causes your downfall also. So family, it's good that, if you can stay grounded, you know what I'm saying? And if you superior, high being God, you got to stay, prayed up, blessed up, and be respectable and all that. But bottom line, hard work. You got to work when they ain't. You know what I'm saying? When the next man ain't working, you got to say, hey, somebody ain't working, so let me work. And that's what's going to get you there, and learning the game. I ask the coaches, get in their head. What you looking for, coach? You know what I'm saying? How you read that? How you determine, this zone, and how you reading that? So that's the main thing, like I said, that got me there, because I was a student of the game, because I wasn't, into the game that much when I was younger. But as you started playing, you got to learn the game, learn the, the idiosyncrasies and the little small things to get in there, and, to get the edge on the next man. And film study, guys. If you're out there and you want to get in the league, film study. Know your opponent, because we are creatures of habit. And they, you are what you repeatedly do. And you study that, you can get advantage or a jump on your man. So I would say that.
So my man Glenn's got a question or two for you. He wanted to ask. What you got, Graybeard?
Oh man, first and foremost, it's an honor and privilege to meet you, sir.
Thanks for having me, Glenn.
And my first question is, what was like the most memorable game you played at NC State? That one game that sticks out more than any other game that you played.
I probably would say the Carolina games, both of them, well, the last 2 years anyway, because both of them was like, game-winning touchdown was my, junior year. And then my senior year, I had a, pretty decent day that, I didn't have to play in the fourth quarter because we kind of did it to them, But, all of them pretty much, it was just, I just played them. You know what I'm saying? I was just competing. You across from me, I used to tell cats, I hope your mama and them ain't in the stands, boy, because I'm finna embarrass you. Because I was a little noise talking. You know what I'm saying? I said, I hope ain't nobody come see you today, boy, because, boy, they finna embarrass you. So, just competing. I was like, always beat your man. That was always my mentality. Beat your man. So, but I had some pretty decent games. And like I said, none really stick out, I guess, because that was our rivalry, and everybody up there was like, all right, man, Carolina, so.
Right. And I got one more.
Mm-hmm.
So who was the one player that you seen or played with that stuck out more than any other player that you played with?
Like Haywood Jeffries. I mean, who I played with, Haywood Jeffries, now, because he was a great athlete. His head wasn't just right, man. You know, if he had his head on right, that boy could be anything. He was 6'3", 200 pounds, ran 4.29. You know what I'm saying? He would catch it, but you know, he didn't know the plays and stuff like that. But you know, I respected him, you know, a lot, you know, playing with him. So we worked together, and during the summer, and you know, me, him, Danny People was a good athlete too. And we worked together, and you know, I taught them the little things that, you know, like my coaches taught me. And who I really give a lot of credit to is like when I was a junior in high school here in Jacksonville, we have a family named the Gaffneys. You know, they're a real popular football family here. You know, Reggie Gaffney, Don Gaffney, Johnny Gaffney, you know, and they came here and they taught us a whole bunch of things, you know, that other guys, I don't know if they knew it or not, but anyway, they taught us the things that it took you to get to the pros. So that's the things I passed on to, you know, Haywood and my teammates and guys we worked out with. And during the summer also, we had a lot of guys from Jacksonville who were like in college and who played pros, and we'll go to this one park and we'll, you know, practice and teach each other things and, you know, the fundamentals and the little small things and the secrets to, you know, help you get to the next level. Because Kevin Martin, he's the one who I really admire greatly, you know, who I played with, but that was in high school. Now, because he was 5'10", and, you know, he went on and had a great career at Boston College and the pros, but he taught me how to study the game. So I admired him as well.
So you got two people that you just mentioned. Now you talked about the Gaffney family, but you did not mention the kid that we all actually got to watch. We hated it. All of us are dog fans on this panel. So we all hated Jabbar Gaffney. I'm gonna be real with you on that. We couldn't stand him. But he was related to that Gaffney lineage. And then you also mentioned, that's his nephew. Yeah, and then you actually mentioned Kevin Martin, better known as Kmart around Jacksonville. He won a couple of Super Bowls with the Dallas Cowboys. He was their third receiver because you had Michael Irvin, Alvin Martin, and you had Kmart as their slot guy. So when you look at your career and your game, it literally mirrored it because you were a hell of a route runner, hands down. And my guy Killian, you know, wanted to kind of chime in on that or whatnot, you know, because we talked about this off the phone and we're like, man, if you ever look at his North Carolina State footage and some of his Kansas City footage, he really was a slick route runner and very, very tough to cover.
Well, that's because, you know, you had to, you know, make up for not having, I guess, NFL speed or blazing speed because, you know, a lot of times, because check this out, nephew and Killer K. When I went to the combine, see, when I came out of college, right, I was ranked like the third receiver coming out in '89. It was Hartley Dykes, Andre Rice and Hartley Dykes, then me. And then when I went to the combine, I signed with Drew Rosenhaus. I was one of his first clients, you know, so I signed because he was at Duke, he was at NC State, so he came over. He was recruiting for a guy named Mel Levine. And Mel Levine, you know, did it, and Drew, they say, stole his clients, but he was more personable. We got along with Drew because he was a little around our age. So we signed with Drew, me, Robert Massey, you know, David from Wake Forest. And so with Drew told me, he was telling that he said, hey, Nas, if you go there, if you run a 4.4 better, you're guaranteed first round pick. Okay. And I'm like, okay, cool. Okay. But I was like, okay, we're going to the combine, so I better, you know, buck up. So, you know, they won't think of, you know, 5'8", 165. And that got up to 185 pounds. I went to the combine, ran a 4.6.
So what? So
4.62.
Goes to my question. I was trying to figure out you were rated as a first round pick, right? So what really hurt your draft status going in? And what really was that realization when you got the league to say, you know what, this is more of a business and I can be at any moment.
Right. That's when I did. I'm gonna tell you the key main point is when if you saw that draft, They played the first round the other week on TV.
Yeah.
And they were on the thing, they were talking. They said Atlanta just made a trade. They traded up to like 20-something pick, right? And one of the commentators said, this could be a special player like Worthen. And I got like, nope. And y'all drafted Sean Collins. And that's all, because Sean Collins was 6'4", 6'3". He was out of Northern Arizona. And because he was in the draft, and y'all traded up and drafted Collins. And I was like, ain't that a beat? And then after that, you drafted my teammate, who I played with for 4 years and was the better receiver every year. And then Lawyer Tillman went. And then I was like, okay, I see what this is about. Yeah, this is about side speed ratio. You know what you're gonna draft, because if you're investing in a horse, you ain't gonna draft the smallest, slowest horse. You know what I'm saying? So it's, like that. So I was like, okay, it's a realization. Just get there and prove them wrong. But then, you get there. Like I said, it's about maturity. You got to grow up, understand, and be mature. You can't, go in there and do the same little stuff and clowning, and what I'm saying? Because I comedian and jokester all the time, and can't be in there clowning. They don't like that. Because it's a business. And you the face, the franchise, and you representing that shield. And so I learned that, and I used that, going forward in life, and it really helped me a lot in life. So,
well, that's a good thing that you learned something during your short time in the NFL. But the key, you learning from the situation and then be able to teach others as you go forward in life.
Right.
But also you touched upon getting with Drew Rosenhaus, right? Your first client, right?
Well, yeah, we were one of the first clients. I think he had some guys. He got some guys from South Florida first, and then it's me, Massey, and then David.
So kind of touch on like his climb to fame, because everybody knows the big Drew Rosenhaus name. Kind of get a little more insight, a little intel about Drew Rosenhaus, a little tidbit we don't know about, our listeners and viewers could know that they haven't heard before.
I mean, they probably done heard it all, but I mean, because Drew is about that business. I mean, he knows his numbers, and he's a good agent when it comes, he's about that business. You know what I'm saying? Because his dad in Merrill Lynch, and he came from money, South Beach and all that. So he came from money, so he knew how to make money. And that was one of the things I kind of not regretted, but I was mad at, because Drew held me out to make more money, because it's like, he's supposed to be in a first round pick, and y'all got him with the 60th pick, so y'all basically got to steal. So I held down a training camp. You know what I'm saying? So I was in a sense behind, and that's the only thing I was mad at him. And but Drew, he did the right thing. He'll hold you out, trying to get you the top dollar and this, that, and other. That's why he's so liked by the players, but he, the owners might not like him, because he gonna get that top dollar. He gonna make you spend that money on his players, or on his, on his clients. So, well, that's about it. Other than that, like, he's a personable guy. He's funny. He's, he was kind of green, what we call green back then. So, we was like, come on, Drew, man, trying to give him some street cred and this, that, and other. But he's, come along, and he seems, he don't feel that role real good. He learned. He's a quick study, quick learner.
Yes.
So, yeah. So, good people.
Also, your time in Kansas City. I know after your time in Kansas City, when you played there with the Chiefs, you had for a free agency contract, and you had to either choose either the Dolphins or the Falcons. Dolphins really didn't have a lot of receivers that that you probably could have made that team. What made you want to come to the A? That's right.
I know, because family, man, and the system, they had to run and shoot. And I was like, I could, be some quickness, and I'd be on some linebackers and safeties, inside slot faking, getting wide open, getting some balls. Because Hayward Jeffries was in the same system in Houston. So I'm thinking, and he was like, and I love the system, because he had 100 catches. I was like, oh, man, and shoot, I can go do that. But, in hindsight, which is always 20/20, hell, I should have went to the Dolphins, but woulda, shoulda, coulda, didn't. And, I made the choice, and, it was what it was. And one of the other things is that when I went to Miami, their facilities wasn't crap. They practiced at like Nova Scotia or somewhere like that, some university. They didn't have their own little facilities and stuff. And it was like a high school gym. And I was like, I'm used to being in Kansas City, which was nice. Then Atlanta had their own thing out there, in Swanee. And I was like, well, man, come on now.
Okay. Yeah, I
They
mean,
went from Sewanee and moved up to Flowery Branch. So you
Yeah, yeah,
already know.
Flowery Branch, yeah.
yeah,
Right, but they had better, facilities, and I was like, okay, because you got to be working when they ain't. So I was like, I'd be in here working, but they, in Miami had a gym. I mean, I so gym from the high school. I say, man, I can't get with that. So, and then plus, family. I wanted to be closer to family so they can come see me and this, that, and the other. So, and plus, with the numbers game, I'm like, Atlanta keeps 6, 7 receivers. Hell, I could be one. I know I could be one of them.
yeah, yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so got a question for you. So when you were drafted by the Chiefs,
Mhm.
now during that time you were drafted in the late 80s, you were there when Marty Schottenheimer first got around,
Yeah.
and you had Christian Okoye, the Nigerian Nightmare, around, and then you had one of the most underrated safeties of the mid to late 80s with Dayron Cherry on that
Around
team.
Cherry, yeah.
Yeah, Dayron Cherry. And I mean you guys had a lot of, and you got to see a young Derek Thomas come into the facility. What was it like actually seeing what a real pass rusher looks like? Us Falcon fans have struggled to understand what it's like to see a real pass rusher to come into the facility. We haven't really had one since John Abraham. Let's be real.
Man, Derek, rest in peace, man. Derek was a phenomenal athlete, man. That guy there, you know what I'm saying? But my point is, like, we were the same kind of athlete. But I'm just saying, that's why I'm like, wish I was 6'3", you know what I'm saying, 240, because he had moves like, quick feet and moves and all that. Plus, he studied the game. And he was, prepped, for that business and stuff. I mean, he was real, smart, when it comes to business stuff and this, that, and other, and handling that business. He was really prepared for it. So he was around the right team of people. He was groomed, it seemed, for a long time to get in that position. But athletically, man, he was amazing because, like I said, he was quick. He ran like 4.5 and, 6'3", 240, and was running that and, can dip the shoulders low. He do everything, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, man, that man got moves like me, and he playing, defensive end. But, yeah, he was something because compared to the defensive ends we had in college, yeah, man, he was the head and shoulders. But, yeah, that's why, he was a great player like that because he put in the work, and he was real athletic.
And when you talk about Derek Thomas, that was a special player.
Yeah, he was.
And I tell people all the time, and everybody's like, "Oh, well, Khalil Mack, and Khalil Mack, to me, and this is just my opinion, I think he's a great player, but I think that might be the closest thing we have to a Derek Thomas in today's game. Honestly, Khalil Mack is the closest that we have to him because people are speaking about this here. When we had Vic Beasley, he had one good year, and I don't care who feels the same way about it. I'm gonna speak on it. He only ate because we had Dwight Freeney that took up 2 players. He ate. Yeah. After that, he disappeared. Everybody was saying he was gonna be the next coming of Derek Thomas, and I'm like, he lacked that heart that Derek Thomas had, and lacked a lot of the skill set he had. So, and you got to remember, Derek Thomas, like we talked off the phone because you told me you met him, and you talked about he was groomed under one of our he played for the Falcons, during our Super Bowl run and a little after. He was groomed by Cornelius Bennett, better known as Biscuit.
Biscuit. Alabama, Alabama boy. Okay. But
so, what was it like when you met Biscuit? You got to hang out around him and you guys trained together and you got to see a big man like that be able to move as quick as he did.
I told you, man, that's when I was like, man, I got the wrong genes. I need to be that size. Because, boy, that would have been something. Yeah, I was like, man, that's, I say this. I see now why they drafted guys according to the athleticism, size, and speed. Because, okay, it makes sense. Because if I'm playing against guys like that, who you think gonna have the better chance? Look guy 5'8", 160, or a cat, 6'3", 240, that same speed, same athleticism. But nephew, what about Andre Bruce?
Andre Bruce was a different cat. He was nice with it. He was a different cat though. But
I know, man.
He went, but you know what? But he wasn't in that class with them. I know,
man. I'm messing with you, man.
Oh, I know. That's why I'm laughing. Because That's that jokester coming about you. You ain't no good.
No,
So,
because they just always talk about it, man. They just
so
always
Scoop,
talk about it. I'm like, what about
so
my great?
Scoop, what you got? So Scoop, what you got for Mr. Worthen?
Man, it's just I'm thinking back in the late '80s and you know and see I'm gonna call you OG. OG, I can't help but to think if I was in your shoes, I know you got drafted by Kansas City, but you know you mentioned Haywood Jeffries.
Mm,
I'm trying to visualize what it would be like in your position being a receiver and being um maybe Ernest Givens in Houston
Mm-hmm.
woo,
because y'all about the
Yeah,
same size.
yeah,
And
yeah,
getting that pill from Warren Moon, like that's a dream come true in my eyes. I'm just
Jesus.
thinking,
yeah.
like, you know, what your mindset was because, you know, it's cool to get drafted by Kansas City, you get drafted by an NFL team, but sometimes you be having that dream list, like who I would want to receive the ball from. And that's
Mm.
what I'm looking at. I'm like, dang, man, he could have been matched up with Warren Moon. You know Warren Moon gonna throw it out there.
Oh yeah.
So how you feel about that?
Well, yeah, it was a run and shoot thing, and as a receiver, of course, you wanted to be in that system because it's more balls because you're gonna throw it 40 times, 40 times, and right, chances are you're gonna get some of them balls. But like I said, I would just, hey, whoever draft me is a blessing. I'm gonna go there, and do my thing. You know what I'm saying? And show them, hey, you didn't mess up, by drafting. And it's just, you have to put in the work and learn, learn the systems. Because like I said, you have to bide your time. You can't go in there like, hey, I'm better than them. I would have caught that. Hey, you know what I'm saying? But same time, when they paying them that money, and it's a business on that level too. When they pay you that money, you know what I'm saying? They gonna play you. You know what I'm saying? They gonna play you. So the point is, with them making that money, like with Givens and all them, the thing about Houston, I didn't want to go there because they played on turf. And I hated turf because we played at Georgia Tech. They had turf. I couldn't stand that dang turf, man. Turf burns and stuff. And yeah. So I hated turf. So I really didn't want to go there. But to answer that question, it didn't matter where I went. I just wanted to, get in the league and, show the naysayers that, hey, okay, I can make it. You know what I'm saying? By putting in the work, by learning the game.
You got a fan club in here. The missus has the missus has chimed in. Auntie Monique has chimed in or whatnot, just to say she's proud of you. So you got your fan club following you right now, man. See, even though you're not playing no more, you still got a cheering section.
The
Oh,
million.
I'm not jealous of you at all, Unc. I see you,
yeah.
man. I'm trying to get on your level.
Yeah. That's the thing, man. As a people, we each one teach one. That's why I'm proud of you guys, man, in this platform, man. Y'all do y'all thing, and I'm loving it. So yeah, I would, get a whole bunch of people to start subscribing and checking y'all out, man, because it's deep. I like this.
Hey,
And
man.
y'all boys know your sports. Y'all need some sports friends. I ain't got
You know,
nobody, to talk sports except at work.
and
Sports,
you know what's crazy about the whole thing is like going over your career and talking about different things. You also talked about the maturity aspect of the game because you said it was you and it was another guy who played with you out in Kansas City, came out of Texas A&M back in the day, really good running back.
Yeah.
And you were saying that you guys kind of were a bit of the rebels on the team. That's as far as I'll leave it. But you guys were the rebels on the team, and you talked about the maturity level. You said you guys weren't at that level, and that cost you guys, money and also playing time. Do you think you guys would have gotten a fair shake if you would have been a little bit more mature with handling those situations?
Yes, most definitely, because they had invested, in, in me, a higher draft pick, the 60th pick. Now with him back then, we had 12 rounds. Okay. He went to college. He went, like I said, he went to Texas, SMU, actually. He went to SMU, got kicked out of there. And so he ended up going to a smaller school, Southwest Texas or something. But he was drafted in the 12th round. This guy was like 6'2", 235 pounds, but he ran a 4.3. He was on the Texas, the high school record relay team. His name Bill Jones. Bill Jones out of Corsicana, Texas. And he was a jokester, and he's just real wild. And I'm hung with him, keeping it real. And we be out and stuff, partying instead of putting that work in the book and stuff like that. And just kept getting in trouble. Basically through him, but I'm with him and guilty by association. So, and it costs a lot.
And when you look at that, my guy Scoop that's down here, he coaches, he's coaching high school kids and kids that are at Gresham Park, and he's got some of his kids that look at the show or whatnot. Like, Scoop, what is something that you hammer that you would like to kind of convey to Mr. Worthen about, just the discipline side of the game that you try to stress to your kids?
Okay. Well, so coming from the city, it's basically a lot of broken homes. And I'm not gonna use that as an excuse, but it's a factor. Like, it's roots to it. And when you don't have that guidance coming from a male, like, it tends to follow you around everywhere you go. When it's just like you talking about going to the league, that was $1 million decision that you're making, and you're not seeing the counter effect from the decisions that you make, because you're really only thinking about yourself. So I kind of hark on, with the kids, like, every decision is like a crucial decision. It's $1 million decision. That's the money that you're making just based on the decision that you make. And it takes 2 seconds to either make the right decision or the wrong decision. So, you sharing your story with us, like, those are different topics that I always try to be relatable to the kids, because, like I said, some of them come out of broken homes and they don't get that male figure to be able to supply that game for them.
Yep, and that's very important too. Like I said, having a good social around system around people, because it's hard now because of the social media and everybody want to be a star. Because in a sense, like I said, that's why we playing this game, trying to be seen, want to be important, in a sense, want to be rich, but you want to be popular and stuff. And you see a lot of foolishness, because if you feed your brain a lot of foolishness, if you're watching all that foolishness, you're going to, kind of somewhat do foolish things. So you have to feed yourself positive stuff, and stop, and I would tell them, stop trying to, just impress people, play, sometimes you got to play the game to get to that next level, to the next step, play the game, because there's a certain attitude or a certain thing they looking for. Be honorable, be respectful. That'll take you a long way, kids. It will. You don't have to be against everything and can't nobody tell you what to do. Kind of the older cats, we got there for a reason. We try to tell you the right things. We ain't gonna kind of tell you nothing to send you down the wrong path if it's somebody positive. And Scoop, and I give you much props, man, for working with them kids, man, because that's something that we do need. We need a lot more guys, reaching out there, touching them and giving them role models, something positive, and going the right path, because it's easy to get off the wrong path. Like, not the name call or whatever, but like Morant, he about to blow a lot of money. Like I said, he done made a lot of money, and that might be fine, and that might be all he need, but you got to surround yourself around the right people, man. Yeah, you got to surround yourself around the right people, because if you don't have a cat telling you, hey, man, we cool, let's go, because we used to be out and stuff, you're like, hey, this party's over, let's go to the house, we get to drink at the house and blah, 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 if we gonna do that. But yeah, out there, because you got people that's, you're a target. Everybody know who you are. You're a target, and you're gonna have people sometimes poking fights, making fun or trying to, get their name, popular by messing with you. You know what I'm saying? So you got to always be thinking, and and sometimes it's hard to think if you out there, under the influence of this, that, and other. So you might not want to be on every scene unless you know how to act, unless you know how to act. It ain't nothing wrong with practicing. You know what I'm saying? Because I have to catch myself now. My wife, Monique, all the time, she have to, hey, Nas, come on, chill down, blah, blah, blah. Like, hey, okay. Then I have to catch myself and say, you're right. You know what I'm saying? It ain't that important, so you need a good ground system. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
You said a mouthful there. But when you
Jams.
Now you spoke on the other side of the game and whatnot. This is a part of the game I understand very well. And it's not the fun part, but this is the realistic side of the game that we were going to touch on. you ended up injuring your knee. I know because I went through it 2 times. You and I have talked about it.
Yeah.
And what was the realization for you when you blew out your knee and you realized that now I've got a setback and I could possibly be done, done playing football altogether? What was the reality for you, and how did that humble you and put you in a place of it really matured you?
Yeah, the most hurting thing was that, I refused to have surgery because, because my roommate, when I was in college, I had a roommate, Steve Sally, and he tore his knee up. And he got surgery, and I guess, they messed up the surgery, so it didn't heal properly. And, he couldn't straighten it out. So it really affected, his going forward, because he probably would have been a draft pick and played in the NFL. He was a bad boy, good size and everything. And but after he messed up his knee, after I hurt mine, I was like, no, I ain't getting cut on, no. So I'm gonna just rehab it. But that caused me to lose a lot of speed. And that was the thing. And once I started realizing, hey, maybe, and it started hurting, like after a couple of days of practicing, it's hurting and stuff. And you can't really, be that what I was. I started coming to the realization that, okay, what's my next chapter? What I'm gonna do next? And this, that, and other, because unbeknownst to a lot of people, I had never done anything because I'm the youngest of 7. I never had to work. Well, I never worked. My first thing was going to college. Went to college. That was my job, being an athlete and a student. So, I mastered that. Then went to the pros. That was my job. Then after that, I was like, oh my God, what can I do? Hell, I ain't never done nothing. So that was the scariest thing right there, saying, okay, once it's in, you ain't, don't do anything. And then you try to go and get the, the disability insurance that you're paying for, Lords of London back then, and then you get all them loops to jump through. And, I'm like the stubborn cat, like, F y'all, man, they ain't have it, but it's my money basically, but I didn't, pursue it. So. Like I said, it's like, okay, y'all gave me a chance. That's fine. I'll just go forward. I got a good nest thing right there. I'll just go forward. I got money put away. I'll go forward and continue with life. So, like I said, I wouldn't blame nobody, whatever. Everything I messed up and did, me. I did it. You know what I'm saying? I got to take that responsibility. You know what I'm saying? Following and not leading all the time. So,
but everybody, and the thing about accountability, and everybody doesn't have accountability traits, and a lot of people might mess up in life and they don't take accountability for what they messed up in, and like you and I spoke off the record, you and I talked, and you were like, my situation, so you were like, hey, what, I can respect the fact that you took accountability for what happened, but you find a way to move on and to grow. And for you, you shoot, say what you want, job at the post office, benefit, federal government job, and a good retirement. Hey, it's a lot of people try to get on, and that's one of the hardest jobs to get on. But once you're there, it's like boom, that's money. That's guaranteed money. Doesn't matter, rain, sleep, snow, you're gonna get your bread. And you got your benefits. And then when we talk about benefits, something that's been going on with the NFL, you've seen a lot of lawsuits from injuries, concussion protocols, and everything else. How do you feel as if the NFL could do a better job of making sure that players have their health taken care of? Because if you remember, one of the guys you played against Kenny Easley before he ended his career, pretty much in the doctor's office because of all the ibuprofen that he took. What was it? I mean, what do you think the NFL can do? Because he won his battle eventually, even though it took during their 20 years. But what do you think the NFL can do to change some things?
Well, I mean, they actually offer a lot of assistance and, a lot of help to players. It's just, you have to go in and do the research. And there's a couple of organizations like the NFLPA for one, the NFL, Alumni Association, NFL Alumni Association, and they got a couple other ones that, they really will help you and, give you good, support. You can get health care, you know what I'm saying? You get financial assistance and all that. But a lot of guys, and the reason we make it to the league is because of that pride. And you too proud to go ask or this, that, and other, or you don't know how to ask or you don't know where to start from. But just look at NFL, retired players or ex-players help. And there's a lot of, sites or organizations that will help you. And I think they're trying to do a lot, but you can't make the game. It's a physical game. And the athletes, over time is getting better, and faster and bigger. And it's a contact sport. So it's something you have to make a business decision or a conscious decision whether you're gonna sign up for this. And I know you ain't signed up to get concussions and all that in the end, but with boxers, they understand. Sometimes you may get that at the end. So you have to make a conscious decision on what may happen down the road. But you can't play thinking about what's gonna happen down the road. I mean, you can alligator arms and tiptoeing around, but chances are it's a high probability that stuff may happen. So then, like I said, they trying to take this stuff out the game, but it's still, it's a game. It's a physical game. It's football. So.
And I got two more questions for you, and then we're gonna let you go because I know we're gonna jump on these Falcons unless you want to hang around and talk a little
okay. Yeah.
with us.
Come on now. You know where I'm at now.
Yeah, I know it yet. That's why I had to make sure I had to ask. That's why I'm like, hey man, because you pay attention to the game still. Now you've gotten that one.
I don't have a bitter taste in my mouth about them. No, they did, but yeah, I caused that. So yeah, that's on them. They're good. I had a good sounding bonus with them. Yeah, I still got some of that.
So you got something. So what lessons did you take from the game of football, and how did you mature? How did you mature as a man, and how did it teach you how to compete in life? And do you still remain close to the game or any of your old teammates?
Right. Yeah, I still kind of talk to guys, and I talked to Bill Jones and the guy Derek Graham, who went to App State, and he played for Kansas City and the Raiders, and Carolina and all of them. Me, Derek Graham, and Bill Jones, we still the ones as far as still playing. I talked to Kevin Porter a couple of times, J.C. Pearson, guys like that. When they come through town doing television or this, that, and other, they'll come through town, and and I talk to them then. But other than that, what I've learned from the game is that, man, you got to compete. Life is about competition, man. Winners and losers. That's why you got heaven, hell, winners, losers. But no, you got to compete, man. You got that competitive spirit. You know what I'm saying? But no, I don't know. But I guess stay central. Don't go too far right, too far left, or whatever. But kind of stay centered. And prepare for life. You got to prepare. Plan your work. Then work your plan. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing I always live with. Plan what you want to do, then work it. So like I said, my wife all the time, like, well, how come you want to just do this? Want to do that? Want to go do this? Want to do that? I say, let's plan it. Then let's go do it. Because these young cats out there with that foolishness, hey. So anyway, but that's a life lesson, man. You just compete. And that's what you miss about the game, that you get to compete all the time. Like I said, every time I lined up, the guy across from me, I'm finna embarrass you. You know what I'm saying? It's my job to beat you. You know what I'm saying? And if especially like in practice, if you can teach me something I'm doing and giving away, or if I can teach you something, that'll make you better, iron sharpen iron. Let's help each other.
Yeah.
So,
Exactly.
And like I said, with the post office, I've been there with 28 years, and it's competing. I go out there, compete against the clock. I try to, okay, well, yeah, the route this long, but hey, I do it better, go faster, this, that, and other. And you're getting paid to exercise. Wait, can you beat that at? But that, be professional. That's all I say. Be professional and compete. Just be the best version of you that you can be. Just do your best. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, a lot of folks just go out there and just go through the motions. Just, man, be the best you can be, man.
So the other thing that we got is, so you pretty much answered the last question because you put that out there. And so a lot of the young athletes that are watching the show, now he literally is giving you a lot of gems to get to that next level of being a professional, putting in that work, and also competing. That's something he gave you 3 gems tonight, ladies and gentlemen. And it's not just for the athletes, it's for anyone who watches this show. Any part of life that you're in, no matter what goes on, you've got to compete because you got to pay your bills. You've got to be in a situation where you got to feed your family. You have to work in America to be able to do the things you want to do. So if you compete to get what you want, hey, you choose the lifestyle you live. That's just pretty much what it is. But we definitely appreciate you giving us a little insight on your career, just giving jewels. But now we're gonna get to some fun stuff right now. We're gonna talk about these Falcons. So talk about some of these moves. Yeah, them dirty birds, you already
Come
know.
on, man. You gotta do it
Well,
right.
Yeah.
You know,
So this would be this would be one of our first times we've kept a guest on to talk a little Falcon football with us. And I'm gonna let my man Killian K Dub Worthy start with a little something about the OTAs that are going on, and you could actually give us a little preview and insight of what it was like for you when you went through OTAs. So Killian, what you got?
well, just dealing with the OTAs, man. These guys out there, competing right now. So just give us a bit, like, for us OTAs, like what is some of the things and some of the key points that some of these rookies and newer people on this team will have to focus on right now.
Well, it is a good, time to measure, where you are, where you stand. And because you come in, from college, or you come in from, not really making a roster and stuff the year before or whatever, and you're competing, you got to stay in that playbook. You got to learn your plays, you know what I'm saying? Because you may not get too many plays, especially like in practice or something. But when they call on you, you got to be ready. Like I said, know what the coaches know. Get in that playbook. Know your plays. When they call on you, make plays. You know what I'm saying? You got to make plays. You're going to get looked at. And then, make it hard for them to, not have you on that roster. So make plays, compete every play, 100%. Make the plays.
Okay. And just make sure you do what you got to do when you got to do it.
Yep.
So Scoop, what you got, man? We signed
OG.
Yeah. It's on you or whatnot. You actually wanted to speak on the running back position about the two Thunder and Lightning, because you had a lot that you put out there today for us in the chat. It's on you with that one.
So as you know, we drafted a running back pretty high, and we getting scrutinized somewhat by national media. With the success that we've had with the running game last year, with Algier coming around, and of course, we got Patterson, adding Bijan Robinson. What do you think?
Bijan.
What do you think would I guess do you think that this would be an asset to our offense?
Yeah, because a lot of times, the success is based on schemes. I like the schemes, you know what I'm saying? And if you got a good scheme and this, that, and other, it works. Because like I said, in that other team, since we talking Falcons now, but on that other teams, we did that power stuff, running the ball crap. Right. But with the Falcons, yeah, I like the scheme because Bijan Robinson, he's pretty nice. Now, Algier had a pretty good, year last year. And he's nice. But didn't Jameer Gibbs go to Georgia Tech before?
Yeah, he went to Georgia Tech before he went to Alabama. And he in Detroit now.
Right, I know. I'm saying, but didn't he? Did y'all get okay? Nothing. But yeah, Bijan pretty nice. But I like Jameer. Y'all should, yeah. Anyway, yeah.
But you know Detroit traded away Swift though.
Yeah,
Detroit traded away Swift.
Yeah,
I know, George. Yeah, but I'm not right. But yeah, Gibbs nice. But I'm saying, Swift nice, but Gibbs, man, Bijan. So we'll see. Like I said, yeah, you don't play the game on paper. You got to go out there and play it. So, like, he's nice now. Bijan nice, but yeah, y'all are using right. It's if you use him right, and a lot of time, but since he was what the 10th pick, what was that?
Eighth
pick. Bijan was the 8th pick
in the
of
top
the
10.
draft.
So he was in the top 10 pick. So he gonna get a shot at it. He gonna get a shot at it. It's his job. And running back is one of the, easier positions because, that's just natural instinct. And, but the main thing that will keep you not playing a lot as a running back is picking up them, blocking assignment. You know,
No.
other than that, all running back, they just naturally, could pick a hole, blah, blah, blah. But you got to pick up them blitz and all the blocking assignments and this, that, and other. So that's one thing, you got to learn if you're going to be in the game a lot, because you can't get the quarterback killed.
Now with that running back spot that you're talking about or whatnot, you got to
Mhm.
watch Christian Okoye, who really was he was pretty much a project type player. And then, I compared, like I said, in the group that we have, I compared Bijan Robinson to Thurman Thomas with his skill set, because Thurman did it all, just like Bijan. And they're the same build, same speed. The only difference is Bijan didn't mess up his knee. Thurman did this with a bad knee after he got injured and literally played for a long time and became a Hall of Famer. What do you think is similar between Bijan and Thurman? And do you think that with a guy like you had with Christian Okoye, do you think he could have been developed a little bit better and would have been one of the best power runners of all time if he would have learned the game a little earlier?
Okay, once again, I go by, success is based on, schemes and your system that you're running. And we were a power team, and Okoye, he actually ran like 4.35, but he was a long strider, took long to get there, And but with quickness, like with Bijan and the quickness of that, I mean, with y'all system that you're running, which is, you got a pretty good offensive, system there, he should be nice in that system. See, actually, with Christian, be honest with you, he wasn't the best running back on that team. Bill Jones was the best running back on that team. But Christian was the second-round pick that year, and they were paying him that money, so they had to play him. Because, like I said, Bill had quicks, moves, 4.3 speed, all that. Cut that thing and gone. But Christian, like you said, he developed late because he was a track guy. Nigeria, he was a good athlete, track guy, muscle bound, built like Schwarzenegger, you know what I'm saying? But he didn't have the football quickness and all that. Unless it was a big hole there, he wasn't getting through there. So it's a system. Like I said, if we had, I guess, a different system that you just, I don't know, like Denver, like when the Broncos, when they had Terrell Davis, Georgia, when they had him and
Don't listen.
Open them,
I
that
love
zone
PD,
block
but
and then
don't
open the
remind us
hole,
about that.
just open the hole so they get 2,000 yards. Yeah. I mean, Christian would have been great in that system there.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, but like I said, it depends on the system you're running. And y'all got a good system for Bijan. Y'all should be pleasantly surprised with him. Although I would have drafted Jamar Gibbs.
But you know what though? I mean, you can't go wrong with either one of those backs.
No, you can't.
You can't go wrong with either one of those backs. If you're gonna draft that high. But I get where you're coming from with that. And my man Graybeard was gonna jump on the defensive side of the ball because we were talking about the OTAs in the offseason and literally how everything is starting to come together. What you got, Gray?
Oh, okay. So OG, when you take a look at our defense now, one of the main reasons why people were flutter on the fence of drafting Bijan because they're looking at the defense from the past 3 to 4 feet and how we can't get after the quarterback and whatever the case may be. We can't generate pressure and we can't consistently get off on third down. But the players that we brought in and what we drafted, what can you see what Brian Meekin is trying to do with the defense and how he wants them to be more aggressive and attack the ball?
Right. Yeah, I mean, you want your defense. I mean, ideally, if you can hold a team under 21 points, because y'all going to score some points. Y'all offense, going to be dynamic. So you probably got the mindset that we just going to outscore you. You know what I'm saying? If we can get the defense to hold you to, let's say, 24 or less, we can win. So basically, that's what it seems like to do with all the, offensive weapons and this, that, and other that you got and stuff. So maybe y'all just, okay, we're going to be okay defensively, but, we're going to try to outscore you. And that's what the league is turning into, scoring league. You got to score.
And I think another reason why I think people should be excited about our defense is that we got more veteran leadership to help out Grady Jarrett in that defensive room. Because he was only the solo voice in that room. You bring in the Calais Campbell, who's been in the league.
Yeah,
for so long. And
Mhm.
that's when he says something or Brady says something, they will have command in that locker room
Yep.
and be like, okay, we need to go ahead and get focused in. I think that was a
Yep.
real important piece for us to bring in.
Yep. Because the number one thing, stop the run first. And Calais, yeah. Y'all got you a player with him. I mean, he's on, that end of the career, that side of the, career on the age line. But you want to start inside out on them, lines, offensive, defensive lines. And if you can stop that run, that you can do a lot of stuff behind that. So yeah,
Mhm.
that's a good start right there.
And a lot of folks, like I said, we ended up getting the second best defensive tackle in the league. That was
Mhm.
behind Aaron Donald and Grady. I'm
Right.
sorry, best defensive tackle, which is
Okay.
David Oyemeta. And he's in early in his career. He played
Mhm.
in New Orleans, was a problem child down in New Orleans for everybody, and quietly really was one of the top was in the top 5 as a defensive lineman in the league. So when you talk
Mhm.
about controlling the line of scrimmage, this is something that I've always preached, and I get ridiculed by others in the group. Oh man, you talking? I said no.
Mhm.
Understand this. The greatest philosophy that I learned as a kid watching NFL films growing up and then playing. The great John Robinson, who coached at
Mhm.
USC and coached for the Rams,
Rams, yeah.
as he always said it, the controlling the line of scrimmage is not trying to just get across the other side. It's about controlling the man in
Mhm.
front of you,
Yep.
the power, the balance after you make contact with the man to drive him in which way that you want to go. So your offense can go one way or your defense can go another way to shut down a running game. Because if you can't control the line of scrimmage, you lose football.
Mhm.
And a
Yeah.
lot of games that Atlanta lost, we
Mhm.
couldn't control the line of scrimmage.
Yep.
Mhm.
And everybody's so worried about, oh, well, we need to get Kyle Pitts some help and all this. We can get good wide receivers, we can get good
Yep.
players, but it's very hard to get defensive linemen and offensive linemen that are going to gel and be in a situation where they can help you win ball games. And
Mhm.
Atlanta has had that issue for the past couple of years, but now I think that now that we have a little bit of money, we can stop going to the Goodwill store and shopping. And now we've moved up, and we get to go to that. Look, we moved up to the Polo outlet, and we moved up to the Gucci outlet. We'll be able to
Mhm.
shop in Bloomingdale's and Saks Fifth next year because we're still gonna have some bread.
Yeah.
But looking at it, what do you think is if Atlanta can get the line of scrimmage control? Because we spent money on our safety. We finally got a real safety in Jesse Bates.
Okay.
And they built this second, and they're starting to build a secondary. And I know you remember Jerry Gray, because we
Yeah.
actually have him as our defensive backs
Oh,
coach.
Derek Gray, yeah, out of Texas. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because think about it, because you remember he went to Houston when he was
Mhm.
drafted out of Texas. He was All
Yeah.
American, and you got to see him
Yeah.
personally. What was Jerry Gray like as a player before he became a coach?
Fast. Fast. But he was fast. Because you get open and that he's right there. I'm like, man, but he was fast and he must have studied. Yeah, he did study. He was being professional studying. And that's the key thing, man. You got to study your opponent. Study your opponent and know him because he knew what you was gonna do. He knew all the plays because it's all about tendencies and this, that, and other. Just like with your Falcons defense. Y'all got some people and y'all bringing in the thing, but you got to coach them up right. You got to have, like I said, the right scheme. The coach got to put them in the right position, and this, that, and other. So hopefully because y'all, like I said, offensively, woo, y'all scary offensively. So
Yeah.
if
That's
y'all
what
get that defense and get that scheme right, and
Maybe you can help. Maybe you can help Kyle Pitts with his route running because you were a
Oh, here
damn
we
good
go.
route runner back in the day.
Here
just
we
use
go.
Yeah,
it right.
I
Use
said
it
it,
up
Scoop. I saw
fast.
you
Just
look
use it
down.
right.
I
Run the
said it.
easy routes. You got
I
the right
said it. I know I
route.
done pissed some people off, but I'm okay with it. I'm just
You got to
joking, y'all.
run no
I'm just joking
routes.
with you.
We
No,
we
but
ain't
seriously though, I
we
think.
ain't gonna show out in front of company. So look, OG,
I know.
I do have a question though. I got a question,
Hey, no,
OG.
I'm just joking. No, seriously though.
But
I,
between NC State
mhm.
and your stint in the league, who was your toughest cover?
mm,
Good question.
That's a good
mm.
Coach
No, cover. Who covered you the
or
best?
cover? Hmm. Oh, I know. I can tell you this. We played a bowl game, and we played in the Peach Bowl, as a matter of fact, against Iowa. and they had, I think he was a freshman then, if not a sophomore, Merton Hanks.
Woo!
That mother's born. That mother down.
Good.
That boy down.
Good.
Down. I was like, oh my goodness. I can't do nothing. I was helping the ref make the call. I said, ref, I wouldn't have called that. He was all over me.
Hey, everybody don't realize that that's another Dallas kid right there, Texas. And you know, he ended up playing for the Niners, you know, for his whole career. He was very good, but Merton Hanks was a monster.
But, right. But he was pretty tough. And then Donnell Wolford at Clemson. Yeah. Yeah, he was a tough cover too. So
Who from NC State to even in the NFL, because there's a picture that you have that you sent me. I'm gonna let everyone see it. It's a picture of you and Andre Rison together playing in that bowl game when he was with Michigan State. But that's gonna be a little later. Who hit you the hardest out of all the hits that you've taken? Who hit the hardest?
Yeah, it was this one linebacker for the at that time San Diego Chargers. Now, I was returning a punt, you know, because in college you get a punt, you break that first wave, you gone. So I was playing the Chargers. I broke the first wave and I cutting back, got me right here in the ribs. It was a linebacker. He was a great special teamer, but he was a linebacker too for the Chargers. It wasn't Sayal. It was somebody for the Chargers. And he actually broke 2 ribs. Other than that, it was Steve Atwater. Atwater hit me one time too. Yeah, Atwater got me one time too. I was like, okay.
And that's the funniest thing. He's my favorite safety of all time. I got he played with my. Matter of fact, you know about my godfather Clarence K. He was a tight end for Denver, and he played with him and whatnot. And Steve Atwater, even though he was a Bronco, I hate the fact that they beat us in the Super Bowl. But Atwater is my favorite safety of all time. I tried to emulate him when I played, even though I was half his size.
People
don't realize how big Steve Atwater is.
He was big, 6'4", and he covered that field too. And
he can run. But most people don't know about this. But most people don't know that Atwater actually was a quarterback when he went to Arkansas. They switched him to safety. He was a quarterback.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of people don't even know that he was a high school quarterback, and they switched him to free safety at Arkansas.
Okay.
So
I know he was a hell of a safety at Arkansas.
But we do appreciate you stopping through the BirdCage with us tonight. You know, gotta give a thank you for coming through. We got you a little, like I said, got you a little something on the way, a little package on the way. I'll talk to you about it afterwards. And no, it's not illegal, ladies and gentlemen. Let me make sure I put that out there. It is a legal package.
Okay.
But got to give a shout out to my man K-Dub, Killer Killian Worthen, Mr. Clutch. We got Great Bid, and then we got my man Scoop. Always got the scoop on everything. The defender of Mr. Kyle Pitts. See, I put Mr. in front of his name at least, dog. I ain't showing out. I at least said Mr.
Hey, look,
he just run him on seam routes all game. That boy fast and big.
OG, don't pay none of that no attention, man. Don't pay none of that no attention.
But I had to get you, Scoop, because you came in here tonight. I was waiting for you. But I appreciate you for stopping through, man. Thank you.
I appreciate y'all for having me, man. I really appreciate y'all, and hey, great work, man, and much success. And I'll get folks on y'all subscribing.
We definitely appreciate that. We
thank you.
We definitely thank you, and we definitely appreciate that. With your stellar career, and then you giving the jewels that you gave to individuals tonight, we greatly appreciate that. And you talked a little Falcon football with us. We definitely will have you coming back on soon. Okay, so
maybe when the Falcons and the Jaguars play the Super Bowl.
Well, we play. Hey, we'll get you on when the Jags and the Falcons play this year when they play in London.
Yeah,
London.
We'll get you on. We'll get you on for that. We know you pull for the hometown team and whatnot. We already know, even though you're a Kansas City fan. Right. But
hopefully it won't be a Calvin Ridley revenge game.
No, ain't that something? We got Calvin now.
That game. I'm telling you.
Hey, that's what we hoping is not. So want to give a shout out to everybody who decided to stop through. We appreciate everybody for coming through as usual. You know, we got, like I said, we got some things coming up. Next week, we're going to talk a little bit more about Falcons football. We want to thank you guys for coming. I definitely appreciate all the love that you've shown us so far during the off season. We got some changes coming. We're going to have a new showtime coming up soon. So be prepared for that. We're going to probably end up moving to another date and time. So we're going to, instead of on Thursday nights, we're going to find a night that's going to be convenient for everyone. So please stay tuned for that. Like I said, we definitely are blessed that you gave us your presence. We hope to see you next week at 8 o'clock. Y'all stay safe. Be blessed. And if you have anyone out there, you know, that is close to you, tell them you love them, because at the end of the day, tomorrow's not promised. And you want to make sure that you tell folks you love them while they're still here. So give them their flowers. On that note, we definitely appreciate you for coming through, and y'all be easy. BirdCage, we out.